Hi guys, my name is Armand Shah, president of KITE, and welcome back to the KITE Free Python course. In this video, we're going to continue learning about regular expressions. If you haven't, please check out the previous video on an introduction to regular expressions. So in this video, we're going to go over the Findall method, which is a very important method, and it differs from the search method because instead of returning Boolean, it actually returns a string, which is important. So for example, if we look into the previous, using the search method, and I made a small program over here, and what it does, it opens its files, it reads it, and then it searches for the file. If we were to print this search method, we would actually get it returns a match instead of the actual lines. And in order to actually print the lines, we would have to use a for loop or any type or some sort of creative way to print the lines, but instead we could actually use a Findall method. So in this case, I actually have a string which is part of a similar file, and I imported regular expressions, and we made a string. This is just a string that's kind of different from the file. Actually, I'm mistaken. And then we wanted to print a list finding the email, or the emails I should say, in this string. So what we did was we did re.findall, and I'll talk about this character in a bit, and then where we want to find that findall, which is going to be s. It's literally very similar to the search method. Works exactly the same. You put the string you want to find here with the special characters, the wildcard characters I like to call it, and the string you want to find in. And then this time, if you print the variable you assign the Findall method to, it would actually print the emails or whatever you're trying to find. So in this case, these special characters over here, the /s means a character that finds white space. So, a character that is not white space. So it finds something that is any character that is not white space or extra space, and so it will find any amount of characters over here, and then plus means one or more characters, and then the @ sign, meaning an @ sign in general, and then more characters after. So what this is finding is pretty much anything with an @ sign in between it, and it matches with two things, which is this, because this has an @ sign between, and this has an @ sign between. So it's important to understand that / just means a character that is not white space. So it will match with anything that is not white space, then one or more characters according to the plus sign, then an @ symbol, then it will end with more characters that are not white space, and then one or more characters. So it's looking for anything that has an @ symbol in between it, pretty much. So now we're going to kind of go over this very complex wildcard characters, as you can see over here. So this is a very complex string that we can make that would find or search for a certain thing we're going to look for. In this case, it's emails. And as you can see, this is where regular expressions kind of gets a little bit more complicated, and a certain language, a whole other language within Python. And we're not going to go over every single special character or wildcard character. To do so, you could look at regular expression libraries which have these such characters to fit your needs of what you want. But we're going to go over this complex one, which is a one that you might want to use. So pretty much if we're looking for emails, this is maybe one you would want to use. And let's kind of start off what it is looking for. So first, it's looking for a string that starts off with, which is a first number. That is A. It starts off either with the lowercase letter. That's why we have this A here. An uppercase letter from A to Z, and then a number from 0 to 9. So it's the string we're looking for has to start off with literally a lowercase letter, uppercase letter, or a string from 0 to 9. And then we have some non-white space characters, 0 or more characters, and then @ sign. And then followed by 0 more non-white space characters, again with that /s, non-white space characters, and the asterisk. Notice we use an asterisk in both cases over here, which means 0 or more characters and not 1 or more characters. Plus means 1 or more characters, the asterisk means 0 or more characters. At the end, our string is going to end with a letter, not a number, a letter. So a letter that is lowercase or uppercase from A to Z, as you can see over here. So this is what it would match with. Again, it would match with anything that starts with any type of letter or number, uppercase or lowercase, and then end with any type of letter, uppercase or lowercase, and then pretty much have an @ symbol inside of it with non-white space characters, and which all of these fit that case scenario. So this is a great regular expression library, which will be in the linked to the description of this video. So what if we wanted to find, we want to search and extract this type of number after the x.dspam confidence in this file. So again, let's open this file. And again, we have all this jumbo about emails, but we want to extract the number that comes after every single xspam confidence, profitability, etc. So how we would do that is, again, we would use regular expressions, and I'm just going to reveal the answer, just save some time. And the character we would use would be something that obviously starts with a capital X. So we'd use that exponent, like I like to call it the exponent, but it is a caret, and then followed by a dash, obviously, and that period asterisk, which pretty much means, again, followed by 0 more characters, and then a colon after. So an X, that's something that starts with a capital X, and a dash, and then a bunch of characters, and then a colon. And then after that, we're going to find a number from 0 to 9, and then we put that period there, which I'll get to in a second. And then we're going to close brackets. So what this really means is we're going to get rid of these wildcard like scenarios, because we put a period in the brackets. The period matches an actual period instead of the wildcard. It would intend to match, because if you put something in square brackets, it kind of cancels out that wildcard function of these special characters. If I put, and it would actually find that instead. So because we put that period in brackets, it's gonna find for something a number from 0 to 9, and then something that has a dot or period after, so a point after, and then obviously this plus, which means 1 or more characters. So let's actually open up our replit, and let's kind of so we're gonna open up a replit, and we're gonna recreate this finding this x spam. Again, it's gonna be x dash, then the colon, and then some numbers, right? So we're gonna get rid of this read, which is important because we don't want that there, and we're gonna do for line in file, we're gonna do line equals line dot rstrip, and then after that we're gonna say x, we'll use x for now, re.findall. We're gonna use that special character we learned, which is the top hat x. Then we're gonna have a dash after that, and then some numbers after that, or some characters, sorry, colon, and then we're gonna match the 0 to 9, and then a dot after the number. And then after that, some more characters, which we'll represent with a colon, or sorry, a plus sign, because we want one more characters. And then we're gonna search that in line, because obviously we're gonna search it in line, and then we're gonna print x. And as you can see, we do get some of them. We're also getting the blank ones because we're printing each line, I think. And I forgot actually to mention that we actually only have to print it. So what we're gonna do, because we're printing x and we're finding all the lines, it will return every line. So we also want to, it will return the line as none, or no value. So we want to say if length of x is greater than, I guess we could say 0, print x. Now that should work. Yeah, alright, that's better. So we get, yeah, so we'll get all these, but again, we want to extract the number. Over here, we're not really extracting the number. We're just getting the string of it, and we're able to print this. So yes, you could do this with search as well. You're probably gonna have to use a for statement, like for line in, or an if statement. If the search is true, then print the line. So to actually get the number itself, put parentheses, and we'll actually get the number itself. So what this parentheses actually does is it actually indicates what we want to return. So the parentheses indicates what you want to return, and that's how the Findall differs from search, because you can return stuff instead of just matching stuff. So the parentheses will return the value you want. Using parentheses, you can manipulate this to return a certain value, and of course we did it with these numbers. So now that we know the basics of searching and extracting and regular expressions, The only thing really left to do is practice the type of substrings and wildcard, as I like to say again, strings that wildcard characters that we could use to try to get certain strings or substrings that we want to match with. And for example, we could do some questions or some small drills, some exercises to get us prepared. One thing we could try to look for in this long string is the number 39772 after rev. So how would we try to match that number? Maybe pause the video, try to work it out, and resume it when you're done. So what you would want to do is you would want to look for, first off, something that starts with details. So you would do that caret details colon. And again, maybe your thing might not be exactly the same, but as long as it's similar. And then that dot asterisk, which means 0 more characters in between. And then we're going to look for that rev equals. And we're going to extract. Remember why we use those parentheses, because those parentheses extract, they will return, especially when you're using the Findall, return the number itself, will match the number itself and return the number itself. And we're going to look for just some numbers 0 to 9, or a number that's, something that starts with the number 0 to 9 and then adds on 1 more characters after that. So that's the answer to this one. Now do this next one, and in this next one we're going to extract the first hour of the day, so it would be 09 in this long email. You want to extract the first hour of the day. So how would you do that? So over here, we're going to again look from. We're going to get the first character, that caret. So the line's going to start with from. Then a number of characters after that, and then 2 numbers. We're looking for the first 2 numbers in a row. So to avoid that we actually match with the 5, we're going to look for 2 numbers in a row and then a colon, which would perfectly match 09, which are 2 numbers in a row, which are 0 to 9. So this is an important note to consider, is what if we're actually looking for a normal character instead of wildcard character, but they mean something else? For example, a dollar sign means match the end of the line. So kind of like that caret, but the opposite, matches at the end of the line. It's a type of wildcard character. But what if we actually want to match a dollar sign in a string? For example, let's say we have a string like this. We actually want to look for a dollar sign to get the value maybe of $10. So one thing we could do is actually match the dollar sign with a slash to mean find the dollar sign, so that this way it doesn't go at the end of the line. So if we say slash and then dollar sign after that, it would actually find the dollar sign. But I would actually not recommend doing that, and I would get used to putting the dollar sign or other characters in brackets, which makes it look better, and it's what I use personally. And just like how we put brackets in that period in the previous exercises, you could put the dollar sign in the bracket, or you just use brackets in general, so that these wildcard elements get canceled out. So I would put the dollar sign in a bracket, as you can see like this, and that will look for the dollar itself and not the wildcard character of the dollar sign. So these are some exercises I would recommend doing. Thank you for joining us today in this Python RegEx regular expressions part of this course. If you have any questions, make sure to visit our Discord, which should be linked below. Over there, there's an open forums where you can ask Python tutors any questions you might have on exercises or just the curriculum in general. Also, make sure to follow our Instagram and Facebook over here.